holding a news conference.
Weapons in Syria has concluded that chemical weapons were used on a relatively large scale in the Ghouta area of Damascus on August 21st, causing numerous casualties, particularly among civilians. This morning, I submitted a missions report to the Security Council and the member state of the United Nations. We have also posted it online for all the world to see. The team of experts led by Professor Åke Sellström deserves high praise. They faced dangerous circumstances, including a sniper attack. They did their job in record time while upholding the highest professional and scientific standards. Working with experts from the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, and the World Health Organization, WHO, they showed the United Nations at its best. The report makes for chilling reading. The team gathered testimony from survivors, medical personnel, and first responders. They collected biomedical evidence and dozens of soil and environmental samples. The mission has provided the world with an impartial and independent account. The results are overwhelming and indisputable. 85% of the blood samples tested positive for sarin. A majority of the environmental samples confirmed the use of sarin. A majority of the rockets or rocket fragments recovered were found to be carrying sarin. The findings are beyond doubt and beyond the pale. This is a war crime and grave violation of the 1925 Protocol and other rules of international law, customary international law. It is the most significant confirmed use of chemical weapons against civilians since Saddam Hussein used them in Halabja in 1988, and the worst use of weapons of mass destruction in the 21st century. The international community has a responsibility to ensure that chemical weapons never re-emerge as an instrument of warfare. Syria's accession to the Chemical Weapons Convention and its belated acknowledgement that it possesses chemical weapons are welcome developments that come with strict obligations. I also welcome the agreement reached over the weekend between Russian Federation and the United States on a framework to eliminate Syria's chemical weapons. I urged this morning the Security Council to act urgently to ensure enforcement and compliance with this plan. After 2.5 years of tragedy, now is the time for the Security Council to show leadership and exercise its moral and political responsibilities. There must be accountability for the use of chemical weapons. Any use of chemical weapons by anyone, anywhere, is a crime. But our message today must be more than that. Do not slaughter your people with gas. There must be also no impunity for the crimes being committed with conventional weapons. The United Nations Commission of Inquiry reported last week on a host of horrors being committed by both sides in the conflict, from murder, rape, and torture to indiscriminate shelling of civilian neighborhoods. Yet arms continue to flow to the country and the region. The humanitarian situation is desperate. People are living under siege. Families face intolerable choices between the risk of remaining in place and the risk of taking flight. Communities that once lived in relative harmony are now torn with sectarian tension. 1/3 of the country's people have fled their homes. The largest flows of refugees and internally displaced persons in many years, causing instability across the region. All of the killing must end. The fighting must end. We need to do everything we can to bring the parties to the negotiating table. I stand ready to convene the International Conference on Syria in Geneva as soon as possible. I look forward to meeting with the Foreign Minister Lavrov of Russia and Secretary Kerry of the United States later this month, and hope we will be able to set a date for the conference at that time. The UN mission will return to Syria as soon as it can to conduct the other investigations for which it was established. My hope is that this incident will serve as a wake-up call for more determined efforts to resolve the conflict and end the unbearable suffering of the Syrian people. Thank you.